Welcome back to the Pits TV. On this week's show, we head to Nelson Speedway for the first round of the Alf Lubricants South Island Super Saloon Series Cup. The format for this event is 15 cars split into two groups. They race each other twice, then the top 4 from each group go through to a top 8 shootout, which will set the first 8 grids for the 25-lap feature race at the end of the night. The rest of the grid is made up via their points. Winners of the pole shuffle can choose to start off the back, which allows for more passing points. Now let's get into the action here at Nelson Speedway for the Alf Lubricants South Island Super Saloon Series Cup.
Right, folks, here we are, Alf Cup, and this is, of course, the first round at Nelson. 58C Richie Taylor, the CHS, Brenda Taylor House of Travel sponsored car, a defending champion. And Richie, it'll be a different ball game this year, won't it?
Yep, last year was last year. We had a great run and managed to win it. But yeah, it all starts from zero again now. And got some great cars, great competitors, and we're going to have our act together if we want to be up there.
Now, you've been around for 100 years racing these super saloons around the place, and one thing you probably noticed over the last couple of years, the level of competition must be getting better and bigger, and or is it, just so much different?
Best it's ever been. Every year it's just increasing more and more. More cars, but far better quality of cars right through the field. There's just no, there's no bad cars here anymore. There's just good cars, really good cars, and great cars. Nelson
seems to be a bogey track for a couple of the guys. What about for yourself?
Oh, we've had some really good runs here, and we've had some shockers. And it's one of those places when you get it right, it's really rewarding and good. And when you get it wrong, you just want to go home.
Now, Murray Gorge is the guy that built your car, and it seems to be that the first season was about learning, but obviously you've gotten so much better. The car's obviously improved dramatically. Does Murray have a lot of input into what goes on?
Yeah, he does. Yep. We talk with Murray a lot. We bounce ideas back and forth with each other and decide what we're going to try, and we sort of approach it reasonably methodically and don't, it's not a scattergun deal. We just try different things here and there, and we've just been chipping away at it, and the car's getting better and better.
Okay, so obviously 58C's been on the car now for a couple of seasons. This car, the way it performs, you've got to rank your chances at the New Zealand title coming up this season.
Look, we're capable as anybody else of taking it out or placing well, but there's so many variables, there's so much good competition. To qualify is a major achievement. Obviously we'd love to do well at that meeting. We have in the past, and we'd love to again, but it's you've just got to be on top of your game, and dare I say it, you've got to have a little bit of luck on your side as well.
Okay, so you've got some good sponsors on the side of the car, Richie. You obviously got a rooftop sponsor as well. Who are they?
Our rooftop sponsor is Edge Parts and Performance for this series. So yeah, thanks very much to them, and great shop too.
Okay, and your main sponsors are who?
Cylinder Head Specialists have been long-time assistants to us, and we sort of do a lot of engine work with them. All about signs, take care of the signage on the car, and Brenda Taylor House of Travel, she helps, and crash repairs do work. Fairview Fiberglass does work. We've got a great bunch of people that help us keep it on the track, basically.
Alrighty, round one, Alf Lubricants South Island Super Saloon Series, the 5T, all the way from Cromwell. It's a long haul up too. It is Daryl Ainsley. Now, Daryl, no laps so far this season, so you're sort of like literally jumping on in the deep end, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just the way the motor was a little bit longer to get fixed, and by the time we got it down, with us doing all the rebuild and that with the car, powder coating it and all that, and want to get it right, so haven't rushed it. We've taken our time, and we basically finished it on Thursday night, ready to load up and leave Friday morning.
I heard you're away hunting and fishing.
No.
Okay, so this round of the Alf Cup, obviously Nelson's a bit of a different beast from most of the tracks you're going to be on. Do you have the answers for this track, or is it just going to be sort of play it by ear and just get some laps in and hopefully go a bit more of an assault later on in the Alf?
Yeah, tonight I'll just be settling the car and that. I probably won't go out too aggressively straight away because I want to get used to driving again, I guess, and and the feel of the car, and what'll be will be, you know. But if I feel good about it, I'll, you know, get stuck into it.
Absolutely. So you've got some good sponsors, and I must say the car's looking absolutely amazing this year as well. Who's the people look after you sponsorship-wise?
Golden Gate Lodge in Cromwell, they've been very supportive to me since I've started racing. Gary Anderson, Metro Graphics, BP to Go Cromwell, Cromwell Collision, Main Freight Cromwell, he's a good friend of mine, Paul, Cromwell Collision, and of course Ainsley Shearing.
You can look after the main one, eh?
Yeah, he's going broke.
Look, racing a Super Saloon all the time.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, best of luck for this and tomorrow's round of the Elf Cup.
Thanks, Jason.
Round one of the Alf Lubricants South Island Super Saloon Series, and it is the Nelson round, and a chance to catch up with the 2NZ, the Brown and Symes sponsored Hypermac of Fluffy Grocott. Fluffy, mate, Nelson's not very good to a lot of people. How's it been traditionally for you racing this big car around here?
Yeah, well, last year we were here, the track was quite slick, and we managed to stay on the outside, and it was quite marbly up there, but within the 25 lapper we sort of managed to push the marbles off, and you know, in the last five laps we started gaining places, and but this year I've heard that they've dug a lot of the clay out and made it quite drivey, so it'll be interesting.
Okay, so you've done a couple of laps in the car since the start of the season and stuff. Cars, is it hooking up all right? You've been competitive?
No, the first meeting we had, we found it got a few issues, and we tried to solve them, and then we went out to the next meeting and still had issues, and the third meeting we promised our bus driver that he could have a run, and we went right through the whole car, and I actually found a couple of issues, and I sort of set the car up for him that night and watched the car carefully, and it seemed to perform quite well on our third meeting.
That's good stuff. Okay, so it's a big series. It's a lot of rounds to do. What's the start off? Just sort of get it nice and quietly into it, and then just sort of have a bit of an assault later on.
Yeah, basically, you go into it a wee bit rusty, so you just got to let the rust wear away, and then get into it, and yeah, just take my time and just watch traffic, and yeah, and just try and read the track and get our setups right, and then we'll just start putting the foot down a wee bit harder as the night goes on.
Now, of course, you've got some good sponsors on the side of the car, none more than Brown and Symes, obviously, who have been very good to you. So who are your sponsors? And you've got a rooftop sponsor as well, so tell us all about who they are. Yeah,
it's Auto Scans. They do mechanical repairs and electrical work and all that sort of stuff. And Disraeli Road, or Street actually, in Christchurch. They've been roof sponsoring now for their third year. So we'd like to thank them very much. And Brown and Symes, yes, they own the car. Well, actually, Peter and Bruce own the car, and they own Brown and Symes, which are our main sponsors, yes.
Well, you've got to look after them, don't you?
Oh.
All righty. Okay, so well, best of luck for this round of the Alf. And, of course, if we've come back and seen you tonight, it means you've done some amazing things. So Let's hope we come back and see you tonight, eh?
All right, thanks, Jace. Cheers.
As the Super Saloons just flatten out this track for their first heat, group number one. Out on the track, the mighty V8s of our Alpha Cup Super Saloons. Life of the party as these guys are gridded up. About to go racing, folks. Not too far away in the starter's hands. Green flag going, and it is Jason Phillips in the 11 car that leads him out from Paul Berg. Mark Grocott trying to get round the outside as they find themselves around the back straight. 492. Campbell Manaway holding on the 4th spot from the 35 of Mark Carey. Dale Ainsley coming through there from Owen Dixon. And at the back of the pack, it is Richie Taylor as they fire through lap number 1 of 12. It is Jason Phillips that fires themselves straight through. There we go back to 2NZ. Mark Grocott, Paul Berg holding third still. And Campbell Manaway just trying to sneak underneath Paul Berg and might hold on to that lower line, try and stick round turns 1 and 2. Paul Berg shuts him down as they fire themselves round the back straight. Towards very short track here. These guys have got to work awfully hard. As we just see Owen Dixon just having it a bit loose, trying to get round Mark Carey as Richie Taylor moves up 2 positions and he slots himself into 6th spot of the 8 cars as they fire them through. Mark Grocott challenging now for the leader of Jason Phillips. That is Mark Grocott's old car, the 11C car, as Campbell McManaway gets on the action. So we're almost going 3 wide around turn 1 and 2, and these guys going at a good pace, and we see Jason Phillips just heading through. Mark Grocott made a wee mistake, has opened the door for Campbell McManaway to sneak into 2nd spot. So Campbell McManaway will be trying to fire into Jason Phillips, shoots himself round, got a brilliant race line, and Campbell McManaway has headed into the lead from Jason Phillips. Mark Grocott through there in 3rd spot. There we go back to Paul Berg. There we go, Dale Ainsley, Richie Taylor through there as well. Then we go back to Mark Carey and Owen Dixon at the back of the pack as they find themselves around lap number 6, halfway through the race. And Campbell McManaway starting to stretch his lead as he fires around Dixie's Hill. Jason Phillips just running the high line, but he's left himself wide open for Mark Grocott to come back under. The 2NZ car just trying to sniff a bit of a gap as they fire themselves down the back straight. Going back a little bit of a gap through to the 76 car of Paul Berg. And in behind him is Dale Ainsley, who will be trying to sneak through as well. We drop back probably 5 or 6 car lengths to Richie Taylor. And then we go back to Mark Carey and Owen Dixon as they've got almost half a lap down on the lead car, which is the 492. Campbell McManaway, the man from the bluff, is leading them through in his Hypermac from the 11C car, the tiny rod of Jason Phillips. And of course underneath him is Mark Grocott, Fluffy, trying to find that gap, trying to keep low. He may have stuck around now in Dixie's Hill as Jason Phillips goes wide. Mark Grocott gets the inside line and will sneak into second spot as they fire themselves round for lap number 10. Only a couple to go, but out in front it is Campbell McManaway, and he's doing it great guns at the moment. He's got almost 10 car lengths on the second spot of Fluffy, Mark Grocott. Then we go back to Jason Phillips, Dale Ainsley, Richie Taylor moving up into 5th spot from Paul Berg. Then we go back to Mark Carey as we're on the white lap, and the white flag coming out. Check it now for Campbell McManaway from Mark Grocott. Go back to Jason Phillips, Dale Ainsley, Richie Taylor, Paul Berg, Mark Carey, and the last one across the line is Owen Dixon. Group 1, Race 1, the Elf Super Cup brought to us by Mark Carey Contracting. Done and dusted.
Okay, we go race number 1 winner, and of course it is the 492 car of Campbell McManaway. Now, Campbell, mate, that was an awesome drive. You come through from about mid-pack, and seemed to be the car just seemed to be going a hell of a lot better than anybody else.
Yeah, it was hooking up good. Yeah, the track was a bit rough in places. You had to drive different in different places, but I could feel the track, and I knew when I got out there I just had to find the spots to get past. So, yeah, I was confident.
Now, there hasn't been an easy process getting here today either. Obviously, you're out fishing till someone got out this morning, arrived back, then your plane was delayed, so there's all sorts of issues getting here. So pretty much it should have been a bit of a distraction, but it seems to have might have focused you a wee bit better.
Yeah, well, my skipper's away over in Australia doing the New Zealand Australian Spearfishing Champs, and he just won that. So I didn't have any other skippers, so I had to fly back on Wednesday, go out, dive Thursday, Friday in Fiordland, and then we got home at 6:30 this morning. But the plane was delayed. Well, they cancelled the plane, so they put us on and sent us to Wellington, and we finally made it at 5 o'clock, so at least we're here.
Absolutely. Of course, the Hypermax hooked up beautifully. Sponsors look after you, who?
We got the pits, we got Can Do Fishing, Fast Blast, and Dowie Contractor.
The group number 2, heat number 1 for these guys, and it is the 17C of Jackson Lovelady, the 6C of Kane Lawson, the 12T of Paul Wright, and then we go back to the 34T of Ray Stewart, Crazy Ray Stewart, the 3NZ of Ian Burson, the 891 of Josh Bolton, and the 48C car of Gavin Hill, HPE Performance. So about to go racing in the starter's hands, and we're checking, green flag goes for lap number 1 of 12 for Group 2, Race 1, and it is the 6C of Kane Lawson, leads them out from the 3NZ car of Ian Burson. A bit of tyre rubbing from the 12 of Paul Wright on the 17 car of Jackson Lovelady, and the 34T car of Ray Stewart heading out high and wide. Josh Bolton trying to sneak underneath him, and the 48 of Gavin Hill at the back of the pack in the moment as they go through for their second lap. But out to a handy lead at the moment, it is Kane Lawson in the Riverland sponsored Mag and Turbo Hypermac, and of course Shane McIntyre here looking after some of these cars as well. The 3NZ of Ian Burson trying to hunt him down and trying to do well on his home track. Jackson Lovelady and the Lovelady machine holding on to 3rd spot from Paul Wright, and on the inside of him is Ray Stewart, who sneaks up another spot, and Jackson just gets a little bit loose and it will be to Ray Stewart's advantage. He moves up into third spot. So first and second, almost half a lap ahead of the following 5 cars. Josh Bolton trying to get through there as well. And Josh, of course, been here a few times. Last time I saw him here, he had a big wall ride out of turn 1 and 2, hooked it up and went up and over. I think it was a New Zealand Saloon title, but certainly very adept in this new Hypermac. And of course, he's got a saloon car now as well. The BRT Racing crew, and good to see Dad in the back there, not racing the Elf Cup this year, semi-retiring. As Josh sneaks into 4th spot, and he'll be chasing down Ray Stewart as they go through halfway through, and Kane Lawson has now got Ian Burson right on his rear bumper. Ian knows how this track works, and he goes to sneak underneath Kane Lawson, challenges for the race lead on Dixie's Hill, and he will get it, and it will be the 3NZ that leads it through into lap 7 from Kane Lawson. Then we head back to Ray Stewart, car 34, and back to him is the 891 of Josh Bolton. Go back to Paul Wright, car 12 from Gavin Hill. And at the back of the pack it is Jackson Lovelady, and he's got Ian Burson hunting him down at the moment. As turn 1 and 2 just very lumpy for these wide tyres, the American tyres. The Hoosiers doing hard work trying to keep this car on a flat level surface, putting horsepower through those big tyres. As the Rot just clips the 17 car as well, and he has to straighten it up. As we see Gavin Hill charging into Paul Wright down the back straight. Ian Burson trying to get past Jackson Lovelady. Out of turn 3 and 4, lap number 10 gone. So about to get the white flag for Ian Burson. He's got to keep it pretty tidy because Kane Lawson's right there as well. He'll be looking for a sniff. Ray Stewart half a lap length down from 891 as they go through down towards Dixie's Hill. And Burson's managed to get past Lovelady and should be able to clean itself around. Goes in behind Gavin Hill, picks up the race win from Kane Lawson, and Kane's car starting to smoke a little bit, so they'll have to check that. Something gone wrong with Kane Lawson's car. Bit of smoke coming off that machine. Looks a little bit blue, so it could be smoky. So if you're wanting to shut that down pretty quickly. As the rest of the cars just come through, Ray Stewart picks up third spot from Josh Bolton. We go back to Paul Wright, Gavin Hill, and Jackson Lovelady will pick up the 7th spot for group number 2, heat number 1 of our Elf Super Cup. Of course, brought to us by Mark Carey Contracting, and a proud sponsor of the Elf Super Cup here in Nelson.
Hi, I'm Scott Williamson and welcome to X Factor Cars. Family owned and operated with 2 locations, Invercargill and Cromwell. Specialising in everything V8 from Holden Ford, HSV, FPV, and with Southland's biggest selection of American muscle, we've got most bases covered. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Get the X Factor.
Rightio, we'll get our Super Saloons back out on deck. This is Group 1 heat to number 2. And we've got another birthday call out, someone a little bit older than the junior club members, although he's probably about the same height. It is Sylvia Gutteridge, one of the camera crew here for the covering the Elf Cup. I believe he's 27 today. So 27 today for young Stiffy. Of course, does the commentary down in the Cargill to the lower South Island. As we welcome out the Elf Cup, brought to us by Mark Carey Contracting, and of course we also like to thank High Reach Access Solutions for bringing us tonight's meeting as they grid up for their second heat. This is reverse grid. So Cameron Manaway, it is the 492 of Cameron Manaway, the last heat winner. We'll have to do it tough as he's got the South Island champion and defending Elf Cup champion Richie Taylor on the outside of the pole from Dale Ainsley. Then we go back to the 95 car of Owen Dixon, is about to go racing again, the 2NZ. Fluffy Grocott, Jason Phillips and Paul Berg as they head into lap number 1 of 12. And it is Dale Ainsley in the 5T car from Cromwell that leads him out from 58. Richie Taylor, Owen Dixon 95, Cameron Manaway around the outside in the 492 car. But it is Mark Grocott that leads into 4th spot. You go back to 11 of Jason Phillips, and 5th and 7th spot is Paul Berg. So just looking out here at the moment, and just looking for the 35 car. Not here, not in this race, that's right. No, that's right, it is the 5T car of Dale Ainsley that leads him from Richie Taylor. That track just a little bit lumpy out of turn 1 and 2. Guys just having to make some evasive movers as they head down towards Dixie's Hill. Just a couple of lumps, creating a few issues for these big Hoosiers as they dive themselves around the track. Of course, it is a very tight track here in Nelson, and these guys having to work extra hard just to keep these cars on the race line without having to deal with a couple of lumps. But the track is getting higher and wider. Cameron Manaway just using the 95 car of Owen Dixon to get around the corner. Classic Super Stock move from the ex-Super Stock racer, and Cameron Manaway moves up to the 4th spot. He'll be hunting down Mark Grocott, the 2NZ car, in 3rd spot. Down in front, Dale Ainsley from Cromwell doing great guns. The Shearer from the lower south doing good battle, of course, former saloon car driver, and moving up into the supers with his Hypermac. Richie Taylor, the Gorge Machine, the current South Island champion, setting his sights on there as Mark Grocott. Young Fluffy having his hands full with Campbell McManaway. Then we go back to Owen Dixon, who's just got it all loose out of turns 1 and 2, loses 1 spot to Jason Phillips in the 11 car, the Stoneleigh construction car. And at the back it is the Paul Burke car, the Fitzgerald Auto Body Machine Canvas Company. Of course, that's X1Z, I believe, from many years ago. Built down south. I'm just trying to remember the 1NZ driver that won it. And out in front it is Dale Ainsley and the 5T car, but Richie Taylor's not going away. We are into lap number 8. And Richie Taylor starting to get this car hummed in as these guys set themselves up for the latter part of the race. Of course, the final race tonight is the 25 lapper. So they've got the shootout, the top 8 shootout to go yet as well. Try and find out who's going to be on pole for that 25 lapper. The track, a little bit lumpy, but there's not a lot of dust actually happening around the track. This new watering system helping, but the weather just been a bit clear in the last couple of days. But Dale Ainsley, he's got his bumper full of Richie Taylor, who makes a dive for the infield round Dixie's Hill on lap number 10, so only a couple to go. Mark Grocott caught right up to these 2 cars as well. And then we go back to Campbell Manaway as they're on the white flag, and they're shooting round down the back straight. Richie Taylor might just settle for 2nd spot here at the moment. We'll see if he dives around Dixie's Hill, tries to cut low, won't be able to do it, and it will be Dale Ainsley picks up the race win from Richie Taylor. We go back to Mark Grocott. Fluffy picks up 2nd, 3rd spot. Now it's going to be very close between the 11C of Jason Phillips and Campbell Manaway, who seems to have struck some trouble. He died as he come around Dixie's Hill and lost a lot of space, so maybe an issue with the 492 car. We'll wait and see. Then we go back to 95 of Owen Dixon, and last spot it is the 76 car of Paul Berg for group number 1, heat number 2 for them as they build themselves up towards the shootout. So Campbell Manaway may have a few issues, I'm not 100% sure. We'll try and catch up with that later in the race meeting and see what the issue is with that particular car. Hopefully nothing too major.
Okay, here we are with the Elf Cup, and this of course was Heat 2 for these guys, and Daryl Ainsley, we spoke to earlier on about not having much track time, but that seems to have not been well, any problem for you in that heat. Car hooked up beautifully.
Yeah, no, it was hooking up good, and I just tried to, once I sort of got to the front, I was just trying to keep it smooth and hopefully keep the lead, which I managed to, but it's hard work because I'm not very match fit.
I see that you're sweating pretty profusely there, so but obviously still, you know, what's the track like? What's the car handling like?
The track's hard work. It's a bit rutted up, and if you go, I don't know if there's much out wide because I just kept it low really. Just run around the sort of the banking part of it. The car is a lot better that time than it was in the first race. We let the shocks go a wee bit, and wasn't so bouncy and it got easier to drive.
Reckon it's going to be a pretty difficult sort of a feature later on?
Oh, it's going to be hard, yeah. Like whoever wins it's going to deserve to win it, and a few of the other guys are going pretty good, so it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Well, of course, you have not raced everybody yet either, so that's still to come a little bit later on tonight, but best of luck for the remainder of the racing.
Thank you.
It's mag wheel sale time at Mag and Turbo. We've got 14-inch mags for $99, 15-inch mags $129 and 17-inch mags from $169. Finance is available, but only from Mag and Turbo.
Rightio, in race conditions as we go for Group 2, heat number 2, and it was Gavin Hill that leads him out. The Alpha Super Cup from Josh Bolton, 891 assumes a race lead. Here we go back into Crazy Ray Stewart, the 34 car, and they've got caution, so all the cars still going, so we won't go orange. As this track just gets underway, Ian Burson sneaks into third spot from his reverse grid order. Ray Stewart lost a couple of spots here. Then we go back to Paul Wright in the 12 car from Cromwell, and at the back it is Jackson Lovelady. This track just having a few issues, but it is Josh Bolton, the 891, the BRT car leading out. Here comes Ian Burson, in-house sponsored machine, the bright orange, fluorescent, I suppose orange is it? The colours that Ian Burson's been known for. Back into those race colours this year, and he's setting his sights on Josh Bolton. Gavin Hill still holding on to third place. Here comes Ray Stewart after a wee hiccup early on the first lap, and he's got himself back dialed in again. Then we go back to Jackson Lovelady, who's managed to overtake Paul Wright in the 12T car from Cromwell. So these guys going through, just looking for Mark Carey, sorry, not out this particular race, so we'll go and track down what's happened to Mark. Of course, he is the meeting sponsor. But the 891 of Josh Bolton in the lap number 5, doing it pretty easy at the moment as we got stuff flying out the window and dust flying everywhere as a bit of this clay just comes off the track. But it is Josh Bolton, 891 from Ian Burson, who's got right up near the backside of him. Then we go back to Gavin Hill, the HPE sponsored machine from Ray Stewart. Now we come through to Jackson Lovelady and Paul Wright at the back of the pack, and the battle right on the front, lap 7, and Josh Bolton, he's going to have to do everything he can to keep out Ian Burson. Ian Burson looking for 2 from 2, knows this track like the inside of his hand, done thousands of laps here, and he's really going to give Josh Bolton a big run for his money for this top pole position. And we see the battle starting to heat up for third spot as there we go down through Dixie's Hill, and Ian Burson does the big one, goes around the outside, keeps the horsepower on Josh Bolton, trying to come back in at him, but it's going to be Ian Burson, may try and sneak through, yep, and he stays on it, keeps his race line. Now he's settled in and will lead this race in the lap number 9 as we see Ray Stewart picks up another spot and goes up to third spot from Gavin Hill. Then we go back to Jackson Lovelady and Paul Wright, the 12T car, just coming through across the front straight, and the lead cars of Ian Burson just going to be right next to the 12 car as they go into lap 11, so it is the white flag out. Ian Burson's still got to get through these next couple of corners. Josh Bolton's still just a couple of car lengths behind, but it will be Ian Burson will pick up the race win from Josh Bolton. Then we come back around the back straight, and looks like, oh, there we go, Ray Stewart's got it all wrong, and he's going to lose 1, maybe 2 spots as Gavin Hill comes through to pick up third place from Jackson Lovelady. Ray Stewart drops back down 1, and Paul Wright will pick up the 5th spot. I think they'll give it back to Ray Stewart as he crosses too far over for the Ellies to pick up his last lap. So we'll wait for the official results to get through from that.
Okay, here we go with the second group for the Alpha Cup. Of course, it is the winner of that one. It is 3NZ Ian Burson. Now, Burst, tracks, you say it's okay. Some of the guys are saying it's not so okay. So what's it really?
No, it's okay. It's just it is rough. It's exceptionally rough, hey. But you just got to drive to conditions. There's 2 race lines out of there, and if you got big spud, you can use the outside one, and if you just want to survive the night, you use the inside one. And we've had to use the outside one a couple of passes the first race, not so much that one. We got Josh on the inside then, so worked out pretty good. And just sit on the cushion, away you go.
Okay, so the car's obviously hooking up not too bad. Looking for the 20-lap feature coming up at the end of the tonight. So if you sort of know what you've got to do to set the car up ready for that?
Yeah, the boys are onto it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do a heap of changes. Like usually we do a fair bit between race 1 and race 3, but hey, the track's reasonable, and you don't want to go too silly because you end up with seasick like I already are.
I think the thing is, there's a lot of drive out there, but it's just got a couple of big holes in it, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. It is. There's a bit of drive in it. Yeah, but the potholes just there as well, and a big cush. And sitting in the crowd, the cush doesn't look too bad. But when you're sitting in the car and it's sort of a third of the way up your door, yeah, it's going all right.
So what do? Just put the old rear tyre into the side of the cush and try and get as much side bite as you possibly can?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And just consistent laps, find the spot every lap. And lap after lap, and if you can sit there, usually you start heading away from the field.
Want a great night out for all the family? Want great value? Need excitement? Need action, thrills, speed and spills? Then you need to be at your local Speedway's next race meeting. It's got it all! Speedway, the entertainment sport.
Here we go, the car's coming out. Looks like the 2NZ of Mark Grocott lining up. We've got the 11 car of Jason Phillips, the 891 of Josh Bolton, the 58C car of Richie Taylor, 34 of Ray Stewart, looks like him, and the 48 car of Gavin Hill, number 7 and 8, 5T car of Darryl Ainsley, and the 3NZ car coming out as well. So, not sure, I don't think Campbell, just looking for Campbell Manaway. No, Campbell didn't make it this time out. It's unfortunate, I thought he was up there on the points. But what they'll do is line these cars up so we'll know who's up next. And the next car that comes out selects whether he wants inside or outside, and they go round for 2 laps. Winner stays on, loser shoots back onto the infield. So we'll do this nice and quick, folks, and it looks like Ray Stewart will start on pole from Gavin Hill, so we'll be in the starter's hands. Here we go. Guys cruising through, wait for the horsepower to go down here. The green light started. Gavin Hill gets around the outside. Ray Stewart holds the low line, so they're just sorting themselves down the back straight. So just trying to get that pole position, trying to get around Dixie's Hill for these 2 laps. And Gavin Hill just holding that race line as Ray Stewart tries to push him out. We're going to go caution, so they're going to restart it. Looking at this, we have gone caution. So not too sure what the reason is behind that. We'll wait for an official word from upstairs. So these guys are on headsets, so these guys have got a little wee earpiece in their helmets, and I think John Hockin out in the infield is talking to the upstairs, and he'll yell out on the radio. There he is talking to them now, and he'll tell someone to come off or someone to go on, or whether they're going to restart the race. And he's talking to the drivers at the moment. So a very efficient way. A lot of these tracks will be picking up this technology over the next few years. It's only a one-way earpiece. The drivers can only hear, they can't talk back. And the referees will tell them whether to sit in position or not. So we're going to do this one again. The lights are back out, so we're going to do it again. Ray Stewart down the bottom, the green light goes on. Gavin Hill around the outside, and they fire themselves round, getting close. Ray Stewart trying to get that inside gap to get the advantage through into Dixie's Hill. Gavin Hill just trying to keep him low so that Ray Stewart has to stay on the brakes, and will try and slingshot himself around the outside. Here comes Ray Stewart putting the horsepower down now. If he can get that outside line, which he's just gained, he'll try and keep the foot down, and it looks like he will open up a bit of a gap from Gavin Hill. And Ray Stewart will just try and keep this race line as the white flag comes out and picks up the race win. And Gavin Hill finds himself in 8th spot. So here we go, Richie Taylor, 2 old masters of Super Saloon Racing. 2 old heads doing battle. Richie Taylor got the inside line. It looks like he's going to pick up that spot. Lights are out, so we're about to go racing pretty quickly here, folks. And we are racing. Here we go, Richie Taylor on the inside. And the Gorge chassis against the Hypermac. And it is Ray Stewart, the 34T car. Out to a wee bit of a lead at the moment from Richie Taylor, but watch this old fox. He's got plenty of tricks up his sleeve, and he'll try and sit on this race line as they go down, white flag out. And we'll see if Ray Stewart can hold on to it. Richard will try to sneak round, something around the outside, come on the inside and work this race setup. It looks like Ray Stewart's got a good race line as he comes through, and will pick up the race win. Richie Taylor will resign himself to 7th spot as Jason Phillips in the tiny rod machine comes out. And Ray Stewart doing great guns on the outside. So we'll hate to see whether Jason Phillips stays on the inside or whether he tries to switch on the outside. The lights are out, so we're going to go racing pretty quickly. Very efficient from the Elf Cup supervisors here, doing an extremely good job. And we are racing. Jason Phillips heads through. But Ray Stewart once again tries to get that jump around the outside and will put his nose in the front at the moment. Jason Phillips will do all he can to try and keep up with this 34T car. Of course, Ray Stewart having a big rollover at Wolfie Glen early in the season. Did a lot of damage, looked pretty spectacular. You can YouTube that particular shot, go into the Wolfie Glen website and you'll find it through there. But at the moment, Ray Stewart doing it pretty easy and moving up. At least 3 positions so far for Ray Stewart and doing it great guns, and he'll pick up another one now as Jason Phillips will retire to the infield, and Josh Bolton looks like he's the next cab out of the rank, and Josh Bolton, the BRT colours. And just heading through there, of course, Bruce in retirement. Josh Bolton, here we go. He selected the outside line, so about to go racing again. And waiting for the green light. Here we go, Josh Bolton on the outside. Ray Stewart trying to have to change it up the inside, but he shoots through and picks up the race lead at the moment as Josh Bolton just sits in behind him. See what Josh has got to do with this Hypermac as they fire themselves round turns 3 and 4. Dixie Hill comes through for the white flag. And it will be Ray Stewart who's moving right up the pole shuffle. We started on the inside this time round and has still picked up the race lead. So going great guns is the young Ray Stewart. I shouldn't really call him young, but he's going all right, but he's just got a bit of pressure, holds on for a race win. And now the competition gets a bit more stiffer as the 2NZ car of Mark Grocott heads out onto the track. Fluffy, and of course Glenn Redmond racing this car last weekend at Wolfie Glen. Fluffy having the weekend off, and Glenn Redmond making a good fist of it, and Fluffy elects the outside as well. So Fluffy holds the race pace here, waiting for the green flag. There we go racing again. Fluffy takes off from Ray Stewart, and Ray Stewart gets it. Drive off. The horsepower on this car off the pedal is going extremely well, and he picks up the race lead again. Mark Grocott just trying to work out what he's going to do. He's going to come in the inside and down low, or he's going to stay high. Ray Stewart just sets off into the sunset and holds the car lengths width from Mark Grocott, and Ray Stewart moving right up the ranks here. Cripes, if he ends up on pole position on this one, he might be very hard to stop. He's very good on a drying track. 25 lappers is one of Ray Stewart's main feats. I've seen him do it plenty of times at Wolfie Glen previously. Once he gets a sniff of that lead, it's very hard to get past him. And there we go, 2 Cromwell cars as Dale Ainsley moves out, the 5T car. And he's going to slip down inside pole. So here we go, Ray Stewart's got to try and get around the outside this time round. So getting tighter. Here we go, Dale Ainsley's got a bit of a nudge. You're going to let him go, Dale Ainsley. Shoots down, but Ray Stewart once again shoots round. Dale Ainsley spins it up and has gone out the back door. Not a good move from Dale Ainsley. He'll try and get the car fired up again, and he's going to go a lap down by the time he gets it fired up. Ray Stewart doing great guns at the moment. He's done 12 laps. Everyone else has only done 2, so Ray will just sit in behind him because he doesn't need to do anything here. Doesn't need to be silly. And he's moved up and at this stage secured himself a position on the front row. And Dale Ainsley made a mess of it, but will still sit on grid position 3 for the final. So here we go, the local hero Ian Burson. This will be a great race. Ray Stewart, he's on to lap 13. And what will Ian Burson do? Here we go, 3NZ versus 34T. And just watching what happens here. Here we go, they've let him go. Ian Burson fires around and it takes a race lead from Ray Stewart. They're going to go caution. I thought there was a bit of a gap there, and Ian Burson, here we go, Ray Stewart just gets a little bit loose, straightens it back up. They may run this again because I think there was a bit of a nose in front from Ian Burson off the start line. There certainly was half a car length gap, so they may let him go again. We'll wait and see what the official results are, and they will line them up. Looks like the lights are back out again, so we'll get them bumper to bumper. And Burson just got a wee bit of a head start there. Ray was in an uncomfortable position of having to be in second spot. Hasn't done that all race of these runoffs so far. As they head round down the back straight onto Dixie's Hill, just idling quietly. The pace starting to pick up as Ian Burson fires him around Dixie's Hill. He'll be the first one to put the foot on once the green light goes, and it does go. Here goes Ian Burson, firing round, cuts a low line from Ray Stewart, and Ian Burson will pick up the race lead down the back straight. Ray Stewart trying to keep the power around, but he's finding himself in second spot from the local, the 3 NZ of Ian Burson. But Ray Stewart hasn't done yet as they go through for the white flag, and Ian Burson just races that race line, and it looks like he's only got 2 more corners to go. Ray Stewart not being able to catch up with Ian Burson at this stage, and Ian Burson will assume the pole position for the 25 lap feature on his home track from the 34 car of Ray Stewart, who will start on the other side. I think knowing Ian, he'll probably may pick up the outside grid on that last heat of the 25 lap. He gets to choose either side of the front grid. In the second and third spot, I think we'll go back to the 5 car of Dale Ainsley. Then we go back to Josh Bolton and Mark Grocott, Jason Phillips. Richie Taylor, he's got a lot of work to do, the defending champion, as these guys go back in and set themselves up for the 50 lap. But there you go, folks. Big clap for the local hero. It is Ian Burson.
Okay, folks, here we go. That was, of course, the pole shuffle, and what a fantastic run from you, Ray. You started off obviously at the the slower cars, and up there and gained quite a few spots. You must have been chuffed with the way the car was performing.
I'm more stuffed than chuffed. That was a blooming hard lot that really bloody got to me at the end. But yeah, we took a bit of a stab at a setup there and basically hit on it. So it's what happens in this dirt track racing, that you have a guess and sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. We come up the good one. So.
Well, I was standing up there with the other boys from the Super Saloons watching that pole shuffle, and they all said, the hell's got into Ray. So obviously the car, maybe not you, but definitely the car is doing a pretty good thing. So is this the setup you'll take into the feature?
Pretty much that. We'll just put some new tyres on the rear and a couple of minor tweaks, but yeah, won't change too much. It's a 25 lap race. It will slick off, so you've got to be prepared for that. We're starting off the back with Ian Burson. That's our option. We can start off the front, but we're taking off the back, so we've got to have a good car to get around these other cars, so we've got to do some extra hard driving there.
As we get these 25 lapper underway, these cars going full wide. Give them a salute, folks, the Elf Super Cup. And some great racing tonight. One of the fastest pole shuffles I've seen for a long time. Very well coordinated, and was some fantastic racing. You've got to take your hat off to Ray Stewart, car 34. He started off on grid 7 and 8 and managed to make himself all the way up to the front row, and only lost to the local favourites. In Burson, big ups to Roger Neves, who can't be racing tonight, and of course Shane Carey, both injured through various accidents and medical conditions, but I'm sure they'll be... Oh, there we go, Mark Carey's back out. That's great to see. So good to see Mark Carey, the sponsor of the meeting tonight, there as well, as the cars just grid them up 4x4. Salute to the crowd. They thank you very much for being here for the Elf Super Cup. Event number 1 down. You've got another 6 race meetings to go for the Elf Super Cup. And look at that, folks, 4 wide. Elf Super Cup. We do thank the drivers for coming. They've got a lot of travelling to do. I know they've got a race up in Auckland, I think, for the New Zealand GP, and then they've got to travel all the way down to Invercargill 7 days later. Huge effort for the guys. The crew's out the back doing a marvellous job. There's hours and hours and hours of preparation put into these cars over the week to get them here tonight. Tyre pressures, the whole lot to go on there. They're pretty temperamental machines at times to get everything right, the weight jacking, everything that they do on these cars, and to get them out tonight. And they've had some fantastic racing. I hope this 25 lapper will be just as good as the heat number 1. Here we go in the starter's hands, 25 laps. It is Dale Ainsley that leads him out from Mark Grocott. Then we go into Josh Bolden, Jason Phillips, Richie Taylor up there, the defending champion Gavin Hill, and we're going to go caution, folks. Obviously there's a few guys tangled up. Campbell Manaway not out there either, so obviously Campbell's got some problems as well. So a couple of these cars parked on the infield, or parked in the pit, sorry. I'll try and get you, I can't work out what's happened. I'll try and get someone to actually let us know what's happened to those particular cars shortly. But obviously Campbell went away missing as well. That is unfortunate. Had a very good race win first up. Managed to survive the second race, got through, but obviously some problems with the car. Rightio, we'll grid them back up, 25 laps. Dale Ainsley on pole, outside of him, Mark Grocott, the 2NZ car, as they find themselves around the front straight again. And it will be Mark Grocott that picks up the race lead from Dale Ainsley. Jason Phillips around the outside, Josh Bolton on the inside, Gavin Hill, Richie Taylor, Jackson Lovelady, Paul Berg. We go back to the 95 car. Back through there, Owen Dixon, 35, Mark Carey. Then we go back to 34 of Ray Stewart, and obviously he's made his decision to try and make passing manoeuvres as well. And of course the 12 car through there as well of Paul Wright. So a bit of contact just with the Ian Burston and Taylor car as these guys just start to spread out a little bit out in front. That is Mark Grocott, aka Fluffy, going great guns in the 2NZ car from Dale Ainsley. Josh Bolton through there as well. Then we go back to Jason Phillips, Gavin Hill, and Richie Taylor, Jackson Lovelady, Paul Berg, Owen Dixon, Mark Carey coming through. Ian Burson making a couple of places up already at the expense of Ray Stewart and the 12 car of Paul Wright. But out in front, Mark Grocott, he's got a handy length, actually almost the whole of Dixie's Hill, out in the gap from the 5 car of Dale Ainsley. Some of these cars just setting up. Here we go. Ian Burson making up a couple more spots. He's got Owen Dixon lined up in his sights at the moment, so he's making up places. He's got 25 laps to do it. This is his home track, so we'll see what the 3NZ car can do as we see Mark Grocott setting off into the sunset, and he's got almost half a track length on these back place cars as Dale Ainsley still holds on to Josh Bolton, the 891 BRT car. Going through there, Jason Phillips, car number 11, still holding 4 spots from HPE of Gavin Hill. And Ian Burson's made up a couple more spots. That's his Ray Stewart. So he is on a mission, is the in-house sponsored machine of Ian Burson, the 3NZ machine, firing it through. He's going to have a lot of catching up to do with the 2NZ. He'll be hoping for a caution to try and get through as he goes and accounts for Paul Berg. And he's now up to grid number 8 of 16. So making huge points up there. Jackson Lovelady's the next one in his sight as the pressure goes on. Dale Ainsley from Josh Bolton in the second and third spot. Josh just trying to keep Dale Ainsley out wide. Opens up a bit of a gap. Josh will sneak through and might give Jason Phillips a bit of a sniff as well in the 11 car as Dale Ainsley drops back down to third spot. Here comes Richie Taylor all over the back of Gavin Hill as Jackson Lovelady looks at the inside of Richie Taylor as well. So these guys still going well. 10 laps down, no cautions yet. Fluffy Mark Grocott looking at some of the bank markers this time round. Just looking at Ian Burston, he's coming up behind Jackson Lovelady as a few bits start to fly off a couple of these cars. The track smoothed itself out for these big Hoosiers as they fire around for lap number 11. So can we go 25 laps without a caution? Try not to put the commentator's hex on it. Richie Taylor all over Gavin Hill as here comes Ian Burston underneath Jackson Lovelady. Jackson doesn't know if he's here or not. He does now because Ian Burston's gone straight past him and he's looking underneath the South Island champion Richie Taylor. So here we go, 2 war horses about to do battle. Richie Taylor, the Gorge Machine, the Hypermac of Ian Burson, and these two have done many races side by side. Gavin Hill just holding up Richie Taylor, but Richie Taylor's got through. Ian Burson looking around the outside as well. Josh Bolton sitting comfortably in second spot as Jason Phillips still handing Dale Ainsley. Gavin Hill got Ian Burson all over his tailpipe, and he'll be trying to sneak round to try and get that extra spot. Ian Burson goes wide, shoots down the outside, trying to line himself up around Dixie's Hill. These guys have gone lap 14, 10 to go. Good racing from these guys as they head through. Mark Carey still doing battle with the 95 car of Owen Dixon. Paul Walker about to be, Paul Wright about to be lapped by the lead car of Mark Grocott out in front. Dale Ainsley, Josh Bolton as they head through, and Richie Taylor back on to Richie Taylor back trying to get underneath Jason Phillips for that 4th spot. Ray Stewart coming up through as well. Jackson Lovelady still holding on too. Looks like 8th spot, but we've gone to lap 17, so the cars certainly starting to set themselves up. Watch for some of these ladder races These guys set themselves for the latter part of the racing. Richie Taylor in Burson doing the battle for the minor places, as we see Mark Grocott coming up through the back markers. Got Shane Kerry underneath his sights as in Burson goes round the outside of Richie Taylor. Jason Phillips still holding on, but in Burson might have made it stick. He's found that outside groove, he's got his groove on, and Jason Phillips is about to be counted off. No, Burson goes wide, can't quite get the grip there. Will try and line himself up around Dixie's Hill. Just looking at this battle, Jason Phillips getting a little bit wide. Richie Taylor trying to get in the sniff. Will carry on with this battle as his minor patients head through. Dale Ainsley heading through, bit of contact with the 76 car, Paul Berg and Owen Dixon, a bit of fiberglass hanging off the back of the 95 car. As we see Ian Burson on the back of Richie Taylor. Richie Taylor back in front of Ian Burson. So things starting to get a little bit testy as we're into lap number 21. At the moment, Mark Grocott, guys going everywhere on this track, getting a little bit loose. The dust starting to come up a little bit. But just looking, the 2NZ for the race lead. It looks like his ALS might have fallen off, but he is in the race lead. He might be on lap 23, so the white flag not too far away coming out for him. As we see Paul Berg parked up. He got a big hit from Paul Wright in the 12 car. But the battle for these minor places, Dale Ainsley still holding on to second, third spot. Josh Bolden comfortable in second. Jason Phillips still got Richie Taylor in behind him. The white flag has come out for Mark Grocott. Josh Bolden coming round as well as the battle for the minor places coming on. These guys got one more lap. We've gone from start to finish. Sensational racing for the Elf Super Cup. And it will be a race win to Mark Grocott from Josh Bolton. Come back through for the minor places. Dale Ainsley's going to pick that up. Three-way battle. Richie Taylor picks up fourth spot from Jason Phillips in Burson. Here we go back to Ray Stewart, Gavin Hill, Jackson Lovelady. Go back to Owen Dixon, Mark Kerry, and Paul Berg parked up on the inside. And of course Paul Wright there as well from Cromwell, the 12T car. And only one car casualty there, might be a flat tyre for Paul Berg. He got a bit testy those last 4 laps, folks, but we have gone from lap 1 to 25. It's a fantastic racing from our Super Saloons and our Elf Super Cup around number 1. And there we go, the 2NZ of Mark Grocott picks up the race win.
You'll huff and you puff and you'll blow your wheels off. Of course, it is third spot for the Elf Cup for the Nelson round. It is Daryl Ainsley. And Daryl, this is even more special because of the fact that you obviously haven't had any track time. You really are struggling a wee bit, hot, but still you must be happy with the result.
Oh, I'm stoked, and I'm stoked for my crew and that, and for the effort. You know, the last 2 months has basically been speedway, but we haven't been racing. You know, it's just been getting the car ready and for it to come out looking like it is. And get a third place, I probably didn't dream of it, you know, so I'm over the moon.
Okay, so some pretty good points come out of today. Tomorrow we start all over again, off to Greymouth. You must be pretty happy, perhaps, you know, a little bit more confident going into tomorrow's round?
It's a whole different day, a different track, and you know, other guys will be looking at where they can improve and things like that. So it's just exciting to be racing again, you know. I just won't go into this unmatched fit again.
Okay, of course, you've got some good sponsors to look after you. Who are they, Daryl?
Golden Gate, Main Freight Cromwell Collision, Ainsley Shearing, and Design Windows, which is a new one that's just come on board. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Daryl, congratulations, third spot.
Thanks very much.
Right here at Nelson Speedway, second overall for the Elf Cup. You must be stoked, Josh. I mean, it was, you know, not really up against the big supers for a wee while, but come out here and show that your cars and yourself has got the goods.
Yeah, we were a little bit behind at the start, to be fair, and we were chasing the car a little bit on the second one, but we threw a little bit out for pole shuffle. Got pushed up the track a bit for that, but it felt good, so we were able to come in and tighten up a bit more, and it felt really good down below. I thought everyone would sort of drift up high, so we had to sit on the bottom for as much as we could.
Okay, so your dad was underneath the car, mate. He was frantically teaching some guys some stuff from behind there, so obviously his touch might have made a bit of a difference for that feature race.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can't pay for wisdom like that coming out of Pops. He certainly looks after the team and keeps everyone cracking.
Absolutely. So obviously the track overall, was it okay? Were you happy with it in the end?
The track was, I mean, it was rough, but it was actually quite fun. Like, you were literally flying over the bumps. My fuel pressure light was on the whole time. I think just the oil was probably nowhere near the pickup for half the race, but she's all right. We've got some spares, so no drama.
You got a couple of spare motors there, eh?
Just a couple, yeah.
You should loan one to Campbell.
Yeah. The poor Ford. We won't talk about Ford, but anyway, you know how I feel about that.
Alrighty then. So got some good sponsors on the side of the car. Who are that?
Gypsy Royal Stud, best gypsy vanners in New Zealand by far. Kane, Mag and Turbo, look after us every year for all our rims, tyres, can't get past them, so yeah, thanks for those guys.
Okay, folks, here we go. Winner of this round of the Elf Cup, the Nelson round, of course it is Mark Grocott. Now, Mark, obviously it was a bit ups and downs, and you've had a bit of a, maybe not such a great build-up to coming to this Elf Cup. The car's had a few issues and stuff. In the end, though, the car, good half length of the front straight in the lead when you come across the checkered flag?
Yeah, it was actually really good. Like you said, we had issues and we've changed a lot of things in the car. We've actually replaced a couple of torsion bars as well for this weekend. There's been quite a few changes. The first couple of races, it was just like the track wasn't the best, and you could start in the smooth or go into the rut, but it's a bit hard up in the rut sometimes. And and then for the 25 lap, it was actually quite good. You could sort of drive wherever, but down in turn 4 and 3 there, she was pretty rutty, and that's where I got the vibrations in the last 3 laps off that corner.
Okay, so is the vibration, has it led to anything? Is there anything wrong with the car, or you're good to go for Greymouth tomorrow?
No, we're all good. It was just when I went into the corner sideways, there was a big hump there, and I hit that, and the actual wheel filled up with mud. We forgot to put the wheel cap on, and I actually knew it wasn't on when I hopped in the car. I seen it there, and so when I was out there and I got the vibration, I went, oh, what's that? Because it's quite bad through the whole car, and I thought, no, I hit that rut. Oh, that wheel guard's not on. Keep going. You'll be right. And the next minute I seen the white flag, so I just nursed it home. So it was good.
So it's a bit like unbalanced the wheel for a wee bit there, but nothing too major in the end. Alrighty, so moving on from here, we're off to Greymouth tomorrow. Bit of confidence obviously going into there as well now with this big win, and such a good win as well.
Yeah, that's given the whole team a good boost, considering like I said, the first couple of meetings the car just wasn't performing, and we weren't sure what it was, and so we had to go right through the whole thing again, and we've got it sorted, and tonight was the night, and everybody's wrapped and we're celebrating.
Your bus driver tells me it's him that got it sorted out for you. He's just sort of got it all sorted out, and then you'll come out and race it. So that's the rumour. Is that true?
Yeah, maybe it could be. I don't know, but it was actually quite good watching your own car go around the track with a peddler in it. Because you could actually see what it's doing. Because like you're in it, and people saying, "Oh, it looks good, but it doesn't feel good in the car." But when you're on the outside, you can actually closely look and see what the car is actually doing to what you've done to it. So that helped me. So it was quite good.
Absolutely. Of course, you've got some good sponsors to look after you on the Hypermac, and I just must point out actually Hypermac 1, 2 and 3, so it's got to be good for Shane. But you've got some good sponsors on your machine. Who are they?
Brown & Symes, our main sponsor, and we'd like to thank Elf Lubricant for the series. It's a great series, and appreciate their sponsorship to help us do the series. It's great. The other people I'd actually like to thank is my crew, Glenn, the bus driver from Josh's crew. I'd like to thank my partner, my children, and the other people I'd actually really like to thank is Stoneley, number 11C. They have an input in this as well, but there's no sponsorship on the car, but personally they have an input, and for me being here, so it's good.
That's because they take the piss out of you so you drive faster.
Yeah, and then Jason racks me up try and beat him, so yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win. Good one for the team.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Jason.